Excuse me. Hey, Sincel. You did get both first. Kudos to you. Very coveted position over there. So here's the thing. It is currently 1 p.m. I was gone for about 45 minutes, and I mentioned that I will probably raid Syndra today. They are planning on playing Skeleseller, and they said that they'll start at about 3 o'clock. So that gives us 2 hours from now. Probably going to try to end, but if it goes for a little bit longer than that, I think it's okay. I want to raid them as they're streaming it, but it doesn't really matter if it's right at the beginning. And obviously we can't be early because if they're not streaming at all, then there's no one to raid. So yeah, I think we could probably get this done in 2 hours. I'd like to. So yeah, let's start by moving all of what's currently in town to the cheats menu, and then not needing to do anything special here. That sure would be nice. So we don't even need to save this off, right? Because we don't ever use this anywhere. Yeah, like even this, I could have just said cheats menu and then replaced all of these like that. And then this one too. Hey, Chevalton. Hey, Kevin. And then get rid of this. Yeah, and that doesn't cause any problems. So yeah, I think we are going to try to move all of this up to... I mean, I guess we can... Wait a second, what? We create this even when... we're not in debug mode? That seems like a mistake. Okay. Yeah, that definitely seems like a mistake. We should get rid of this from the other builds. Or not from the other builds, but like if you're not in debug mode, we shouldn't even make the thing to add it to the scene. All right, so how about I do this? Put this here. I'll say public static create cheats menu, and we pass in the town and put all of this stuff there. We got to figure all of that out. So yeah, that's going to be a bit of a mess for right now. Set up debug functions only a call from here. So we're going to say cheats menu dot create, or what I call it, setup. What did I call it? Create cheats menu. Why is it not showing up? Cannot convert from town to town. Oh yeah, sure, we haven't done that yet. Town doesn't call setup debug buttons when it's not. Oh, got it. Okay. Run debug functions. Wait a second. That doesn't seem right. Is that right? Doesn't call setup debug buttons. Did I just delete that accidentally? Oh, where's the search thing? There's setup debug. Run debug functions, set up debug buttons, cheats menu. No, I think we are adding this. Yeah, I don't see... I think we're just never showing it because we're not on a debug build, but it looks like it's going to be in the scene tree no matter what. Now, obviously, a real player wouldn't know it's in the scene tree, and it's probably not causing any sort of performance hit. But yeah, ideally, we shouldn't have just done this no matter what. Maybe it used to be this at some point. Because, yeah, this should only be called if you're on a debug build. Or now, I guess, if you're on a playtest build. No, I don't know. Yeah, this should happen probably only on debug. This should probably happen on debug or playtest. And this should only happen on debug. So this is another reason why maybe we should make another menu. So on a debug build, you get the cheats menu, and on the playtest build, you get the playtest cheats menu or something. So dev cheats versus playtest cheats. And that way we can just run all the debug functions or run the playtest stuff. I got to write something in that document too about maybe mention logs where saves are stored. Do I want to make a separate? Well, I guess for right now, I don't care. Right now, all we're trying to do is move over all the current code we have to just make town look cleaner. So yeah, I guess this doesn't really matter. But yes, we probably need to consider that in the future. consider whether we want two separate debug menus, one for the demo, one for the playtest. If we do split them up, then the town code that calls run debug functions would only need to run if actually in debug mode. Hey, typical. Hey, Brussels. Had to instantly leave after I said that comment. So I missed anything. That's why. What comment? Oh, Kevin, my partner's in crime, and then a smiley face. And then they were just gone. Press the left. Pressel, have you ever had a picture of you anywhere in like Discord or Twitch? Because I have a picture of you in my head that is probably completely fabricated based on a combination of, now I'm realizing, two other people who have also been in chat, whose personalities I guess you're kind of closest to. Are my seniors talking about testers, and automated tests? I'm assuming there are at least two typos in your message. So I'm assuming you're talking about testers and automated tests. And I'm guessing you know what they are and you're making a joke. But if you're not making a joke, please let me know. Give me the look in detail and I'll tell you if it's accurate. Okay, let's see. Blonde hair, sort of stocky. Maybe like slightly above average height. I guess it's short hair. Light skin. I don't know. Like I said, this is like a totally fabricated image. No, I don't. Sorry, wait. What was this response to? Like that you're joking, you're not joking? Do you mind typing the complete sentence so I don't have to recall back to what I was? Yeah, his first programming language is JS and I'm still learning functions in it. Oh, okay. Well, I'll explain really quickly. So tests in general are pretty obvious. It's like anything else. Let's say you install a light switch in your place. The test that it works is to turn it on and then ensure the light is on, and turn it off and ensure the light is off, right? So code tests are the same way. You will do some kind of validation on your code. So maybe we add in a new adventurer and they're supposed to, I don't know, be a damage dealer. So like we put them into a battle and we make sure they do damage, that sort of thing. So automated tests are that same thing, but now without your intervention. So you might set up a scenario via code and then run the scenario and then perform your validations and then do any sort of cleanup afterward. So in the context of, let's say, Twitter, you might spin up a Twitter instance and like have 3 accounts get created and tweet between them, and then make sure that the tweets went through and they're visible on each other's pages, and then like tear down the Twitter instance that you made. That would be considered an end-to-end test because you're testing like a real user scenario. But a unit test would be something very simple. Maybe you're testing just a function. So imagine you have a sum function that takes in x, y. You might do something like assert that sum of 2 and 3 is equal to 5, or this sort of thing. And you might test with some negative numbers here too, and try different cases that you might think of. Well, you instantly got it wrong, but sort of stocky, maybe you could say. I'm 6'4", so if you count as above average, and yes, light skin is in mixed or just light shaded skin. I don't know. Like I said, this is some totally fabricated thing. It's like if I said, "Hey, are you a wizard and you can cast fire magic?" and you're like, "Nope, just a human." I'd be like, "Well, that's what I expected because I just made up an image." What a ridiculous conversation, though. What did you imagine that I look like? Oh man. All right, so this doesn't need to be here. Oh man. What a funny thing. Okay, so a lot of these functions are private. This, for example. Hey, King Ghost. Oh my god. Are we adding cheats for the players? Yeah, for play testers, not for just like demo players or anything. Hey, Gorge. A light skin is two types. What I was picturing is like vampire white skin. But again, totally made up. This was not a this is like if I made up a fruit name and I'm like, what do you think it tastes like? It wouldn't. You could have 400 different answers for that question because the fruit doesn't exist. Okay, so we add the cheats menu to that thing. We need kind of all this other stuff to work. This is easy enough to do. Oh wait, no, it's not. We pull that from towns. Okay, well I guess it's still easy enough to do. Let's fix all the easy ones first. Is this public? Nope. Well, we could make it public. Although, why even bother doing that? What is this? That's easy. This is public. Yeah. And higher random adventure could be made public. See, I want to move some of this stuff out of there. I guess we should just go line by line and do this. There's no real shortcuts thing I should take for this. Hey, what's up, Soap? Can you imagine if everyone in chat decided to group up and form a game company? Start a AAA company right now? I think that would be very difficult. I haven't had a picture of me as a profile. Oh, yeah. I probably didn't, Oppressal. I probably just made this up and then, yeah. All right, so how much of this is public? That's private. That's public. Private, but that's probably going to change. Is this only ever called from there? It's called from two places. Debug level. Well, it might have also been called from here. Unlock all adventures. Yeah, it was. It's called from three places then. Oh, man. Debug level up. Like all this stuff. I'd love to move this entire thing out of there. We probably just should. Fine. It's gonna be. This is gonna take the entirety of the time to make this thing, huh? Often you easily build up an image in your head of them based on their actions. Yeah, or sometimes based on their profile picture that doesn't have to do with them. Like you have a profile picture on Twitch, it's just totally unrelated, I'm guessing. Although I don't think I did that in this case because that doesn't at all look like what I was picturing. But yeah, you don't have much to go off of. So grant most things. This should be in the cheats menu, I guess. Can we do this? No. All right. Well, what we can do is this. This is all gonna break. Everything's gonna take forever here, huh? Set max money. I mean, what this kind of implies is that every single thing in town should be public, so that other things can just tweak whatever they need to. Alternatively, that we move out like a max money class or something, and it listens for all of this stuff. So what calls this right now? Just two things, and then our cheat thing that we have here. Another way we could do this is when we make the cheats menu, we could listen for some events and then keep them all as private functions. So we could have like a max money changed or max money forcibly changed. I don't really see a point in doing that. I think we just make this public. Or possibly you've seen one of those and implemented it self-consciously. Yeah, it could be. So for this, then we need to save off the town in the cheats menu. So I guess we add it. We can initialize it. Town, save that off here. Private town equals null. Then go make our init function. Where's ready? There's no ready. Okay. Oh, that's static. Public void init. There we go. All right, so now that it has the town, now we can start doing some of this stuff. So stupid. All right, unlock all adventures. Let's take a look at this. Like I said, I don't think this needs to be here, but then higher random adventure would need to be public. Unlock all adventures. If we did move this, then the other callers of this, and there are two. No, there's one. Where's the other one? Huh, no, I guess there's that. Set up town for battle simulations. Oh, man. I guess we could undo what I did. Keep that as private and make unlock adventurers public. Currently have a picture of a fitness influencer holding a weapon as my profile picture. Before this, I had a picture of this one crazy fragrance content creator sitting in a church. Quite the variety. I've always had the Sonic Popsicle. And a year or two ago, I think, my wife drew it for me, so I switched to her drawn version. I didn't like that popsicle picture. Debug, level up adventurers. This is already public. That's kind of surprising. So pretty much all of this is going to be done like so. Mark tutorial complete. Yeah, again, we just make this public for now. Debug, unlock auto battle. It calls unlock auto battle, which is public. So then this entire function actually could be kept private and we just move this. But then player abilities needs to be public, which it already is. All right, let's do that then. Private void debug unlock auto battle. Oh, whoops, I didn't need to do that. Town dot get ability ID. I deleted it from here, right? Yeah, I did. I also use a meme person. I guess I never really thought after meeting you how close to you that looked. I know there was a while where people were using those like Simpsons profile pictures. And those were always like you could kind of see the person, but not really. Like Simpsons, Conan, O'Brien. And this is always going to be the case with a cartoon. Like you could tell that's Conan. All right, town.warehouse is null. Create the warehouse. Create the enchanter's den. Then make a list of this stuff. Why do we even do this? Get nodes with a shop component? What? Why don't we just do for each shop in town.get shops? And then we wanted to call it many times for in I equals. Yeah, something like that. So we don't need that anymore. Okay, we're getting there. Very slowly. It also doesn't build the shops, just adds displays. Yeah, grant most things. I don't think we're going to change it all for this. And I don't think we're going to give it to people. I think we're going to make like a build all places. But I'm still not totally sure about that. Lambda expression can be removed. Is it this now that can be? I don't know why it said I can remove the lambda. It thinks it's this. All right, well, we'll come back to that, I guess. So invincibility, this was being tracked in the town. I guess we could just change it to be tracked in here. Yeah, we don't use it anywhere else. Okay, so this comes down to the cheats menu invincibility. Cheats menu dot invincibility. And then instances manager also comes from the town, which in this case would be like that. Great. Grant items. Where is this called from? Nowhere. Is add items public? Nope. Huh. If it were, we could use this. So let's make it public. We're doing this the cheapo way for now. So now this can go over here. Grant items can be like that. That's fine. And then we need all of these things. This is going to take a little bit of time because of how quick fix is not actually quick. I don't know why it takes that long to pop up every time. You got the cheats menu on that simplified lambda? This? Oh, is that what you're saying? Oh, I see. I didn't realize you could do that. I think I tried that at first, but I didn't have the function written down. Yeah, thank you, Dark. Okay, so now add item is going to be on the town. And this is going to be the town. Yeah. To array doesn't exist because we don't have a link. Okay. Well, I'm at least glad all the debug stuff's going to be in one spot. So now what? Add items. This is on the town again. And this is on the town. This is going to be town not create customer. Okay. Well, hasn't been too bad, I guess. Debug create instance. What's that? What is this doing? Create ephemeral notification. That's fine. We could call that. That is private. What is this used for? A debug function, and that's it. Just a debug function. Nothing else calls that. So we could probably get rid of this too. Wow. Okay. Yeah, sure. This is nice because none of this code should have been here to begin with, I think. And I don't like how town's been getting polluted with this. So get first adventurer available for instance. That's there. This whole thing can be removed. Okay, so get adventurer component. ECS should have already been here. I thought I already did this. Maybe I didn't. All right, battle simulator. Is that in town? No, it's just a static class. So we just import it. Where's debug hire random adventure? What uses this? Nothing. But hire random adventure is used by something. A few things. Skip tutorial. I mean, that's technically a debug feature too. All right, for now, let's make this public. And unlock all adventurers now doesn't have to be where it is. Oh boy. Nothing called that. Let's get adventurer class. Get adventurers comes from town. Hire random adventurer. Hire random is public now. Yep. All right. So what's needed? Debug hire random adventurer. Where is that? This is now calling only public functions. And debug hire is never used anywhere else. No. All right. So I don't think money is settable. It is not. It's a private set. Oh, okay, that one's going to be annoying to do then, huh? Maybe not. This part's fine. Then town has a set money, doesn't it? It does, yeah. So town.set money. Then hire a random adventurer. Then set it back to the old money. Okay. Grant items. Did we fix that yet? Where even is that? It's here. Okay, so then we need to do cheats menu, not grant items. Debug create instance. This exists, but again, needs to be cheats menu, not create. And then debug draw screen. Where did this exist? We changed its visibility. This is just a debug thing, so this probably shouldn't exist here. Add all usings like in JS, adding all missing imports, at least in VS Code. Yeah, it'd be nice if VS Code had like slightly better C# support. So those sorts of things make Rider more tempting. All right, so what I'm debating on is, should this even be here? The debug draw screen is created right after making the cheats menu. And it knows how to toggle itself with unhandled input? No, it doesn't. It's that it gets shown through the cheats menu. I wonder if the cheats menu should just own this. Yeah, it probably should. Okay. So setup debug. And I guess we'll put that over here. Set up debug draw screen. Was in the cheats menu. Wouldn't we just make this static? I guess we can't. We're making a single debug draw screen and then hiding it. We don't need to do that, do we? No, we don't. Oh, let's just delete this. Put this here, and then debug draw screen. Actually, when we create it, why don't we just create with it hidden? Instance.hide. Yeah, then we don't need to do this, and we can just add this here, presumably with the town in the town's UI. Oh, because then we need to set it to visible or not. Oh, right. Okay, that would be helpful. Hmm. Okay, well, I guess we can just capture it in there. Debug draw screen. And then replace this. Okay. Any red? Still some. Unlock all adventurers is never something I put in here, but I think I moved it to this thing. It's here now. Cheats menu dot unlock. Was I missing something else? Yeah, it is. Okay, any others? And just this. Is that not? It's public. What's going on? Oh. Wait, what? What is going on? Debug create instance. We should have access to the town from this. An object is required for the non-static field, method, or property instances. Oh, right, of course. Yeah. Okay. All right, so that's all done. And now town has... Is the only problem? Oh, come on. It is. Ah, man. Set up town for battle simulation. So we have unlock all adventurers. Since you actually have the adventures you should have. For quest rewards. That's not a thing anymore, is it? I don't think so. The tavern doesn't store quests. It shouldn't. Do we have like power here and stuff? Nope. Yeah, I don't think that's necessary anymore. Got to make sure we haven't broken that battle simulator. But yeah, I'm not totally sure how we're going to do this. This is now inside the cheats menu, which we don't even get a reference to. So we could move it back. It's just, or we could just make it a static function that takes in the town. That would work. It's kind of stupid. Like static void town or whatever, town, take this in. Do the thing. So that now this would be callable. Cheats menu dot unlock this. And then we fix the reference over here. All right. Now what's broken here? Same thing. Okay, we should be able to run this. Ooh. So everything should work exactly the same as it used to. We should have no functional differences in the game. So if we were to just start a battle right now, yeah, this stuff works. Okay, so let's try some things out. We're going to click grant most things. Any errors? Just that, which I still have to fix. Actually, Kevin, if you could take a look into this, that would be great. This available skill points thing was modified. I have not looked into it myself. I don't know what's causing it. All right, cool. Yeah, that would be nice. Okay, so let's keep restarting this and trying this out. So show all signs. Oh, that shows by default. So we need to save and then load and then show all signs. Yeah. All right, toggle invincibility. Let's go test that out. So we just shouldn't take any damage. Should say 0. Yep. Okay, so that's working. Unlock all adventurers. It's working. We don't have any errors still. Good. All right, what next? Grant items. Yep. Grant items with right click. Yep. Add customer. If I left click, it gives me 1. If I right click, it gives me 10. Same thing with workers. Left click to get 1. Right click to get 10. Increase game speed. Upgrade the shops. Create instance. And draw. Yeah, nice. Oh, boy. Okay, well, pretty good. The nice thing about this is if you look at the difference in the town file length, we got rid of exactly 200 lines of code. So all debug stuff that could pretty much safely be removed. We just need to move some things around now. We're actually probably going to move a little bit more too, because like this is gone. That's the only thing that's gone. So 201 lines of code. And then, yeah, I got to reposition all these public functions, which should probably be examined again because ideally they wouldn't be there at all. Mark tutorial complete is generally only called from here. But then the cheats menu can call into it. Can we trick this somehow? It doesn't look like it. You could do it on acquiring an item. You could just say that a shop acquired an item. Wait, why do we do this? What need do we even have for this? I guess it's if we were in the tutorial and we clicked that button. Yeah, I don't know why we did this. Hey, Goldskin. I think customers should only go into the idle state when they enter the town after some time. Kind of feels weird that they just stand there before they even get into town. Yeah, I think that's fair. Put this on the backlog. So yeah, why do we do this? Mark tutorial complete. A whole bunch of things listed for it. I guess let's just leave it. Yeah. All right, let's go function by function and see if these things need to be here. So what calls hire random adventurer? Just this one place. Skip tutorial. So should skip tutorial be in the debug thing? Probably. In fact, I think we only call this in case debug is true, which is another big indicator that it should be. We could, town is already partial. We could just make like a debug town.cs and it is just an extension of the town class that just has the debug functions there. And then we could keep all of this private. Oh, this is tempting. I don't know what I want to do. I think I want to make more components out of these things. And this is like fake componentizing something. All right, well, let's write down the options here. So problems, skip tutorial, or not even that, like mark tutorial, or no, not even that. Okay, a bunch of town functions had to be made public so that we could call them from the migrated code. So option 1, we could have used the partialness of town and made a debug town or something with the debug function. Option 2, we could extract out some components that would allow us to use composition for the town. Such that I wonder what the town even really represents at that point. Like, we're getting the adventurers just because we're storing the adventurers in the town, but we could have some like adventurer manager or something. I don't want to go crazy with this. I want to come up with something that's like simple enough for right now. And making functions public is simple enough for right now. So I think that's probably the route we're going here. Stuff won't be accessible though. I guess static functions as well. So what is this doing? For hire.com, create ephemeral notification, hire adventure. Hire adventure is public. It's private, but that could be made public. So the hire random adventure is another one of those just like static things. This is only used by debug code, right? Yeah. All right. I think skip tutorial should be outside of here. It's not technically cheats menu code though. And anything that is static here that takes in the town like this, unlock all adventurers, probably, well, maybe this should be here. But the town calls it for setup for battle simulations. All right. That's our option 3. Make static functions somewhere that take in the town and operate on it. I think I'm leaning toward this. I think it's a combination of fast and well isolated from other things. Fast to code, not fast to operate. Like the performance is going to be the same pretty much no matter what we do here because it's just function calls. All right, where do we put this? Source. Do we have a debug thing? We do. Well. Let's put that in there. So what do we call this? How about we just call it town debug functions for now? And maybe it'll be clear what this should be named afterward. So this is going to be a public static class town debug functions. It's not going to inherit from anything. And it's not going to have any methods in it for now. But we're going to copy something over from the cheats menu, which, oh, not that, cheats menu.cs, which is this. Basically, everything depends on town, and other things don't really need to access those methods to be in the purpose of encapsulation, I guess. Yeah, I don't think that like town was a well-designed thing. So that yes, there are a lot of dependencies on it when we could have simplified what some of those dependencies were, and that the encapsulation we're still kind of getting. If we make public functions and keep all of the data private, then people aren't just like randomly modifying the data, and we're at least encapsulating any modifications to it. So that part I think is okay. But yeah, it's just like sprawling mess right now. So unlock all adventures is going to go here. This is inside the right namespace and everything. Yeah, good. So we're going to take in a town. We're going to get a whole lot of imports for this. Is there a way to know that this is actually going to work? Like, okay, I'm just going to not touch the keyboard for a long time. Then we're finally going to press command period. Yeah, okay. So there is some amount of waiting I need to do. I wonder how to know when the waiting is done. Because if I do try doing this too fast, like if I do it right now, it just says no code actions available. I think there's got to not be a progress bar at the upper left. Okay, so now that we've moved this, we need to go find cheats menu. And the call to here is going to be, why does it think this exists? It doesn't. Town debug function. Reload this. If you open a new file and use it, get into the project so you don't get the hints immediately. But it's the same file. Okay, this worked. And then same thing here, town debug function. And this is in unlock all adventurers. Cool. So that's what I think we're going to do with pretty much all of this stuff. That's not a debug function though. Skip tutorial is. Where's skip tutorial? Yeah, this should be moved. I got to remember that. In fact, I'll probably write that down for now. To do, move this to town debug functions. The reason I don't want to do that yet is because I want to finish looking through the public functions that I changed. So the first one is here, hire random adventurer. This is never something that the user has access to. Yeah. Skip tutorial does it. And then that's pretty much it. So I think we put this here. This is town.workers. Stuff is all town.whatever. This isn't public. It's got a private set. So we need to find some way to do that. And then same thing with this, beginning of the game camera tracker. All right, those will be a little bit problematic. This, I guess, is the same thing. No, this is just static. We can just import this. I want just item category there. Vanishing warning vanished. Oh, that was easy. Some merge or modifying, cause some ghost nodes to exist. Oh, weird. Huh, neat. Okay. Yeah, thank you. I do have to review PRs. I think we're building up too much stuff for the Thursday list, but I'll write this down, look at PRs. I think the top priority for tomorrow is marketing. I meant to do more of that yesterday and I didn't. But tomorrow I think should be wide open for me. Like there shouldn't be the same sorts of interruptions I had yesterday. So some of this is good, but some of this is, yeah, yuck. And this needs to be moved. Hire random adventure, which calls in a hire adventure. And hire adventure is legitimately called by the game itself and not just, yeah, not just debug code. So nothing will be able to call this. And the only other thing that would have called this before is here. And like I said, we could have listeners for this so that we don't have public functions all over the place. But for now, let's, again, do this the easy way. So I'll make this one public for now, and we'll move this one into the other class. Oops. This is public static town. This goes here, this goes here. Sample comes from our extensions. Get adventurers comes from the town. Okay. Hire random adventure. So we have two errors there. We have one here, skip tutorial. This is now town debug functions dot skip tutorial. But this is all the debug stuff. So we should probably just run all the debug stuff from inside that debug function. And the camera is public and set up town for battle simulations is private. We can change that. What else? No other red there, but there is red here. There. Okay, so how are we going to fix these things? Has won first battle. What sets that to true in the first place? Right there. On battle ended. We could just call this. But I think this is also going to create items for us. What does this do? a tip, the instance map. Yeah, we could just mark that the forest was deleted. That should fix that. What is this? It's a node? Free. Okay. Hmm. Build shop tutorial. How do we... Oh, we don't call this. Oh, all right. Yeah. I don't want that to pop up. I don't want to make this a public setter though. We could make a function that wraps it, but at that point it doesn't matter. It's effectively a public setter. Yeah. I guess we just do that. And then this is the only other problem. Can you raise the on battle ended? I can, but then it's going to show the shop tutorial thing every time we start the game, saying like you just won your first battle. Where are we going to sell the potion? So, yeah, effectively, I think I'm just going to do this. All right, so now what's the problem here? What are we trying to do? We're trying to say has tracked first adventurer true. There must be some event for this, right? Player used start battle button. And there's an event for that? Yes, there. And this is an action only ever invoked from on-show's instance party. Has tracked first adventure is true. This would make a battle, though. Again, one of these cases where we just want to shortcut this. I mean, we could make a debug function inside the town saying, like, yeah, pretty much skip the tutorial, which is where we had this originally. It's just this one line that's now not cooperating. And this makes certain that when you start your first battle, we're not going to have it track all the adventurers going to the portal. We could also just not do this, and then it would track the adventurers going to the portal. So if I were to run the game, I think this would be annoying. So I don't think I want to do this. But yeah, the way this would look is I click create, and then the camera should just snap to... It didn't. What? Maybe because of how I created the battle? Maybe if I did it through the regular means? Yeah. So now you can't move the camera, but you could click debug speed up, and then you wouldn't have that problem anymore. Can't you just access the private properties in town since it's partial? I would be able to if I made this another partial class of town, but I haven't. And yeah, that is another route that we had. I wonder if that's looking better now. Because yeah, we could say this is a partial class of the town. All right, so this is needed. Wonder if you had to define it with the exact same things you used the first time around. Exclude from release. I don't mind if the code exists in the release version and people just don't call it. Like, I don't think we need to trim the binary size down that much or anything. It'd be a problem if the code were being called. Although we could probably just exclude this completely from the build. I just don't see that as being a priority. What's the problem with this? Town does not implement interface. It does in the other partial class. Maybe it needs to be in the same namespace. Would this fix it? Yeah, that would fix it. I don't know how I feel about that. I think it's fine. Yeah. Okay. So how about this? Before I do any of that stuff, though, let's get back what we had and let's save the entire file somewhere else. So save this as town debug functions, and now we'll go back to our original town debug functions and put all the code back to what we had, like this. And now this doesn't need to take in a town; it can just assume that it is a town. Same thing with this. Oh wait, that only fails because this is still marked as static. Object reference is required. Keyword this is not. Oh, this is static. I didn't realize. I gotta make all these things not be static anymore. Not be static and not take in the town. All right, so pretty much anywhere we have town dot is going to change to nothing. So this. And same thing here. Hey, Hunter. Got a funny idea for a silly debug key. What is it? Higher random adventure doesn't exist now? Oh, yeah, because we don't need to take that in. Which means this isn't needed either. Okay, yeah, I think that's probably better. And then we just write, this is a partial class of town that only contains debug functions. It's partial so that we don't need to expose a bunch of private methods and variables outside of the, like just for the sake of debug functions. I guess we should say cheat functions too, which are pretty much debug. I don't know the reference, Hunter. I know who Toby Fox is, and I know what a carpet is, but I have not seen Toby Fox post about a carpet. Okay, so we have to fix everything now. So this would just be unlock all adventurers. We don't need this. Same thing here. This is just town.unlock. Means you don't even need that stuff. Okay, we're making progress. And now there's some bug over here. Skip tutorial does not take anything in. Okay, can we run this? Yes, we can. And we can make some stuff and click some things, and yeah, nice. It all works. All right, but that was only part of what I needed to do. The other part was to fix up whatever is marked public that shouldn't be public now. So higher adventure was marked public. Where is this called from? Town debug functions, this shouldn't matter, and that's it. So this can be private again. In fact, we should just make them all private and then figure out what's broken. What is this? What changed here? Why are the parentheses around this? Parentheses. Okay, I don't know what that was about. Or else do we have anything that is this private? Any others? Private. Private. Okay, so that's going to break all of this now. The set max money. Yeah. So here's one way we could do this, because we only have 3 problems, right? Add items. Well, yeah. What we could do is, and this is really weird, we could make like a debug add items, and all it does, so there'd be like a public void this, and it would just call add items, and it would proxy all of the parameters. That's a little weird to do because it's basically like making the original thing public, but I guess it's making it clear that if you're calling this, it's for the sake of debug stuff. So I actually don't necessarily mind that. And we'd only do this in, I think, 3 spots. Use reflection. I'm not using reflection calls. So we have a debug set max money. Isn't something going to undo the change to the maximum amount of money? Did I ever think about this? Wait a second. Wait just a second. Grant most things doesn't need to do this. It doesn't need to change the money limit because it should mark that you've beaten all of the elites. But anyway, I guess it doesn't really matter. I had written down that I would. I don't recall what I was just talking about. How many hours do you code in a regular day? It's pretty much what you see on stream. So however many hours of today that I've coded is probably average. There are some days where I just do design stuff, some days where I've done marketing things. But I don't tend to code a lot off stream. Maybe this also increases the max. It'll probably get reset when you beat an elite. Oh, okay. Did I write that? Okay, gotcha. Back from work. Hey again, Grim. How'd work go? So yeah, I'm gonna make a debug set max money. And it's just a proxy for the original one. So public void debug set max money, long max money, set max money. There, like that. And now this can use the debug form of that. Same thing with this. Mark tutorial complete. There's no reason to make this public. But we can make a debug form of this public. Debug mark tutorial complete. And then we call that element CTOR. Oh no, okay. And then the last one of these things. Wait, what? There are two more? Add items. Oh, it's add items twice. Okay, so what does add items take in? I mean, maybe we could argue that the cheats menu is part of the town and that all of what I'm doing here should have just been inside of this partial class. I guess we'll see what the changes to town would be. Do you have a GF? I'm married. But my wife was once my girlfriend. Good today. Not much to do. That's good. How would you recommend improving knowledge of C# and learning to use it in Godot? So I think there's an assumption made here that you even might want to use it for Godot. I think the reasons for using C# over Godot are not great, and my own personal ones are there. But assuming that you've already come to that conclusion yourself, how would I go about learning it? I think kind of the same way I do any technology, which is I'd probably start with documentation and like small examples, and then I'd work up to a small project that'll then create problems for me that I could then go try to solve and learn some paradigms of C#. While doing that, you'd probably also like look at other C# code. You would, I don't know, use any other resources you might have, like talk to other people who know C#. As far as learning how to use it in Godot, it's almost identical to GDScript, except for some very, very like minor things or straightforward things. So in general, in GDScript, you're going to have casing like this, where you do like node.getChild. And in C#, it's going to be node.getChild. So things like that, this is so minor that it's almost mechanical. And then some things, and I'm not actually even totally positive this is true, but some things you'll have like node.getProperty, and in C# it'll just be node.capitalized property. So for something like that, it's maybe a little bit harder to figure out, but even then, pretty straightforward. Some things just don't work in C#, like web export doesn't work right now. And other things, yeah, I guess you'd just be able to use the full power of C# and any libraries you have there. Are there issues with using the inspector in C#? The only issue is that you need to build before you use it. So let's say I added a property to this thing. It won't show up until I click the build button. And then once it's there, it's just there. But I know you can't drag stuff over. I don't know what that means, but I haven't noticed any problems with that, so that should work. I thought Godot code is easy for someone new to coding. Yeah, I think it is. Like paths and stuff. Oh, maybe you can. I'm not sure. That hasn't gotten in the way, I think, for me. At least, like, I haven't been bothered by it. Okay, so what do we do here? These are just proxy functions that we made. Oh, and I never actually got this working. So this is now debug add items. And then we go into town, add items, copy this over to here, make this public. And then call add items instance. And just put the word debug at the beginning. Okay, so now this should not be problematic anymore. Argument 1 cannot convert from iReadOnly list to instance. Wait, why are these different? Oh, there are 2 of these? I didn't realize. Why did we do this, though? That doesn't make any sense. We always just pass in item IDs. Why would we ever pass in the instance? Do we ever call this? Grant items does. Interesting. Okay. Well, then I guess we would have 2 of these. Debug add items. All right, now we have no issues there, right? One script that might be more expensive to run code than C#. Yeah. Overload for forest potions. Let's see what we're doing this for. This is in grant items, and this one is in. Oh, add it. Oh, I see. One calls the other one. So this function has to exist. This one technically doesn't have to exist, I guess, but it's a convenience function. Yeah. Anyway, should be fine. Well, it does. Well, yeah, I guess it's a convenience function. I suppose when coming from the angle that I know a majority of C# stuff, so I'd like to learn game design while improving my C# usage. Yeah, I think you can use Godot with C# right off the bat. And if your goal is to learn C#, I think it's a good way of doing it. You could also use Unity for that if you wanted to. Both of those, I'd say, are like C# first experiences. Or not first, but like up there. You don't have to do any, you don't have to jump through any hoops to get that. That was the right click on grant items. That's being used for one of those at least. Like we probably have the, well, technically actually we're not using that. This takes in an instance, not an instance ID. So we only have an instance ID here. So we just generate the drops for that. But yeah, so I think we've gotten everything kind of working. We've separated out the cheats menu. Everything should be good. Click that, that works. Click that, that works. Show all signs, toggle invincibility. I mean, we can test some of this stuff, but I've already tested it all. As long as the buttons aren't breaking. This thing's doing 0 damage. Why did no one else get to act? Okay, so the mushroom would take forever to attack. The golem didn't attack, though. This probably isn't a problem, but I just want to double check. They have rock throw. How often does rock throw get used? 2.8 seconds. So the archer is shooting 2 different arrows because they have split shot, 1.6, and rapid shot, or no, wild shot, 1.7. Okay, so that's what's probably going on. It's just shooting its 2 arrows. Oh, I just saw rock throw there. What? Oh, it is throwing a rock. Okay, then yeah, I think everything makes sense. Hey, Chris, it's going well. We've been pretty productive today. Actually, pretty productive since after Next Fest. Things have been going pretty smoothly. How are things going for you, Chris? All right, so let's look at the diff for town, because this is the thing that I was kind of questioning this whole time. And I want to see, did I make anything public here that I missed? Like this I did. Has one first battle. Where's this being called from? Here. So this doesn't need to be public for this. We can just make this be a private setter still. And it should be totally fine. Why is that not totally fine? Cannot be assigned to. It is read-only. It's not read-only. What? This is a partial class for town. Shouldn't be a problem. That's weird. I don't know why that happened. Okay, anything else? Lots of red, lots of red. That's totally fine. Lots of red. Yeah, easy. Easy. And then all of this is new, and well, most of this is new. All right, so I should look through this one more time. Yeah. Cheats menu. Yeah, I think this is looking good. Again, another way of coding this would have been to make this a partial class on town. And then, or I guess forward all the debug things we would have done anyway. It ended up not really making a difference. Unlock auto battle. Is that used anywhere else? Player auto battling? No, yeah, that is used. Okay. Yeah, I think we're fine. I think we can check this in. Okay, so let's make a new branch. Git checkout -b add playtester cheats. And at the end of all this, we'll say merge my branch, switch back to main. So what we did here is refactor cheats out of town.cs. I made a partial class, another partial class for town called town debug functions, so that it would at least be clear when we're accessing something private for the sake of cheating, e.g. add items is private, but debug add items is a public wrapper around it for our item related cheats. What else do we do? I think it's pretty much just that. Yeah. This got rid of what? Like 200 something lines still? Yeah. 238. No, sorry, 237. Got rid of a massive chunk, or like relocated massive chunk of code from town.cs that only really had to do with debug functions. Oh, there's one other piece of this I did not fix. The cheats menu shouldn't do any of this stuff unless we actually need to add a cheats menu. So we don't even need this code here. Or not that code. We don't even need this code here. Yeah, this can always be made visible on any build, and we just won't make the cheats menu if this is false. Should show cheats menu. If not should show, then just return. And this is public for no reason. This is public, but that's probably fine. Oh my God, private static functions have to go below this stuff. Actually, wait. This could be made private too, because we only ever initialize it from here. This has to be public, thus has to be moved up here because it's overridden from a public function. And the rest of this is fine. No other public things in here. Okay. This doesn't need parentheses. Okay, so ideally we would test this on an exported version of the game to make sure that the cheats menu isn't working. I'll just write this down at the end with the cleanup thing. Cleanup Make sure the battle simulator still works, and make sure the release version of the game doesn't have the cheats menu accessible. And I'll run this one more time and make sure that this will work. And to create, you can do cheats menu.town to town. Oh, that's true. Yeah. So I don't even need that init function. Yeah, this is still working. Town equals town. Init gets deleted. Nice. Nice. Okay, commit that. Wait, just make sure one last time. I don't have any extra code that I didn't mean to check in. Did I leave it to do in here or something? RG to do? No. Well, I might have lowercased it, but I doubt it. No. Okay, so nothing else. Oh yeah, and then one other minor thing is that we're no longer always creating the cheat menu. We used to create it even on release builds and then just disallow showing it. How many lines of code you think you write now? You mean like how many lines is this diff? Because I think there's an easy way of seeing that somehow. I was hoping it would show me like the line roll up somewhere. I'm not sure. Anyway, this was kind of hard to estimate because a lot of them were moved but between files. So it'll look like 200 were gone from that file. So that I could add 200. So it might look like 400 changed lines. And I guess technically that's true, but it's not like I just wrote that many unique lines right now. All right, yeah. We're looking good. Cool, commit that. Okay, so do we want two separate menus? I don't really think so. It's just different buttons of one menu. But I guess I don't care too much either way. Do we have any other static functions inside the cheats menu? Just increase game speed. And that could have just been inside. I mean, it could be static. It doesn't really matter. Get diff dash dash stat. Oh, I guess I have to undo the commit for that at this point. But yeah. Yeah, let's publish this before I forget. I guess I don't really care too much about this. I think I'll just leave them as one for right now. You don't want to release, but I don't remember the Godot configuration for this. Yeah, what I was saying earlier is this is just code. So having code in the release build that doesn't belong is just very low priority. Because if you think about it, this might be whatever, like 30 kilobytes of code, maybe, if even that. It's like 30 kilobytes isn't going to drastically change anything. It's just not worth even writing an if statement and testing it to make sure it worked or that it didn't work in the other version. Yeah. If you wanted to prevent people from running that code, it might be a good thing to do. But even then, it's like our save files are just plain text right now. So, and even if they weren't plain text, you could still use cheat engine or something. I don't see any need to do that. Again, this is one of those things that it's like, it's technically correct to get it out of the release build. It's just, there's no benefit in doing it. All right, so we did this. Make a feature flags files we can access from everywhere. That way, if we want to fake having a feature, we can just change that one spot. Yeah, so we have os.has feature all over the place. We have 27 instances of this. One of them, this one, is the demo, but all the other ones are pretty much debug or playtest or internationalization. Yeah, and most of them are going to be debug. Oh, wait, that one's also demo. Oh, we don't need to do this anymore because of the release tool. This is going to be baked into the version number. So we would have put dash demo underscore demo. well. Yeah, I think we can delete this. I didn't even think about this. Remove demo from the version. string. The version string should already end in dash demo. So ever since I made the release tool. Yeah. Okay, let's keep looking up has feature. Any others? I'm pretty certain it's debug almost everywhere. In fact, why am I even doing this? Let's just do this. Search for has feature, then do Alt F3 and do that. So yeah, we can see in almost every case it is, and in fact, we can sort these. So we can see there are only 4 other tags, and template is one of them. What is that? Is this a test thing? Don't run on exported builds. Okay, that's a Godot thing. I don't really know what that means. Godot template feature. What is this? Looks like a cool game. Halls of Torment. I heard of that game. But that's not what I wanted to find. Feature tags. That's what I wanted to find. Template. Running on a non-editor export template build. Okay, that's fine. So yeah, cool. This is everything. So we're gonna go make something. Here's how I expect this to look. I expect like static class feature flags, and we have some public static bool debug. And this is gonna be os.hasFeature debug, and that's it. And then we have another couple of lines, playtest, whatever else. And then we're done with that. To the point where I'm not even certain it's worth doing this. I guess we could have combinations of files, combinations of flags that we have for this. Like we could have feature flags dot should, or like cheats menu. And this is debug or playtest. And that way we could do these granularly if we want to. Have anything nice for dinner tonight? So for me, just so you know, it's not even dinner time yet. If you mean, do I have plans for a nice dinner? I don't know what I'm going to eat yet. I like the combination. Yeah, I think I'll end up doing this here. So then the age-old question is, where do we put this? Feature flags. I don't see a fitting place for them. C# functions, not really. It's kind of a constant, but not really. Maybe a different folder, like a meta folder, or like runtime folder. Yeah, I'll put it in like a runtime folder, I think. I don't have a better idea. Runtime. There. All right, so now let's just go get literally any file, this, sure. Save it in the runtime folder. So we put this here, we call it feature flags. Then we change this to be runtime, this to be static feature flags. We just copy paste the thing that I had right over here. I hear a cat running down the hallway right now. All right, so debug OS, that is capitalized? Yes. Is translation enabled? I'd be moving this to feature flags now, which I think is fine. Actually, do I think it's fine? We could still have this use the feature flag combinations of has debug or has internationalization. Alternatively, we could even just stick to has feature used explicitly. It's okay if this exists every once in a while. I think I'd like to have them all in one place though. Yeah, I think just for changing flags around, it'd be nice to have them all in one. So I think we'll move this. So I'll put this over in feature flags. So we'll say is debug, I guess. And then this will be is debug. What is the I18 end feature? When does that get used? It's not on by default. Did we write something about this feature? Oh, it's used for debug as well. Okay, so there's just another way to turn it on. Yeah, I see. Oh, sorry. What I was asking is how do we get this? But then I realized we don't get this ever. We just have debug and wait, no, that can't be true. Because then how did that person who streamed the game use Spanish? When we export, do we export with internationalization? Okay, I'm confused. How did that person have Spanish? They wouldn't have had debug set. Someone had things in Spanish. You remember the streamer that Rami knew? And I think his name was Javi. He had some things in Spanish in the game. How did that happen? I'm nearly positive you watched this person. But yeah, I don't have an explanation for how that would have been possible. Unless we don't show the language selection menu, but the language somehow still gets pulled in by Godot as Spanish. So they could have never swapped it back to English. Hey Matt. It might have been that. In which case we probably need to update our Spanish strings. I didn't catch the stream. Godot may be doing it. Yeah, okay. So then I wonder if we should just delete the I18N thing. Because nothing's using it, nothing's injecting it, and I don't want it to be unclear. So I'm going to say note that... So this isn't even is translation enabled. This is something else, right? Let's get feature flags here. So I don't mess this up. And then there's one other place where this shows up. And it is there. I18 functions. No, it's feature flags now. And that's that. So is translation enabled? This is for set locale. So Godot might still have done something on translation change and then the menu itself. Yeah, I see. Maybe we should force the language server up to English on launch if this is disabled. I'm torn. This would only affect if you had your locale set to Spanish on your operating system. And as long as we're in just a demo, it's probably fine. But maybe it's worth writing down at least. It seems that if the OS is set to Spanish, we show Spanish translations even on release builds. This isn't what we would probably expect based on the name this. Yeah. No real harm, I think. This is a debug. So note that Godot, this controls whether you can see the language selection menu. Godot seems to pull the language from the OS, meaning that even if this is false, you may still see the game in a different language and have no way to change it. Yeah. Skeleseller. I like that. I sense a cat coming over. Abby. She's just in the hallway. Typical cat. All right, so is debug. What are the other ones we wanted? I had a whole list of them, and then I think I closed the list. Not that hard to go get again. But it would have been nice if I hadn't closed the list. So here it is. So if we just make these unique, then we debug is covered, and then here are the other three. Okay, so is demo. And it should know how to do the other ones here. All right, this one comes from here. What's the nearest? Here it is. Default features. All right, what does it say? Running on a non-editor build. A Godot built-in flag that means running on a non-editor build. See also... Wait, how do you make a link to something? I don't remember. C#.comments link. We could just put it as plain text, which I'm probably going to do because I don't want to spend the time even doing this. Specify a link. Oh, it's chref. Okay, I see. Chref. Does that look good? Oops. Open. Yeah. See the Godot docs for the full definition. Doesn't make any sense. All right, so whether we exported a build for playtesters, they generally get access to cheats. This is whether we're on a demo build. This generally has less content than the full build. And then this is whether we're running as developers. This gives full access to cheats and even speeds things up in some cases, e.g. quicker animations, skipping loading, or like on-demand loading. Hey, Brainoid. Brainoid, I want to thank you again for kickstarting my YouTube outreach, because I've had now, I think 3 or 4 YouTubers cover Skeleseller, and just yesterday we had like plus 120 wish lists, which I just wouldn't have probably pursued this. So I really, really appreciate you nudging me in the right direction. Hey, Karada, happy documenting and cheating. Thank you. The only time someone's going to come into your workplace and be like, hey, happy cheating. Thanks, Bob. Saw Miss Spook's playing it. Yeah. She was in the list that you'd shared with me, although then she was actually the first person I reached out to. But then I started just compiling my own list after that. But yeah, I think it's nice. We've at least seen some people play it. There've been, search, I guess, Skeleseller on YouTube. Recently uploaded. Yeah, so Abobo, Brag Apple. We should see Missy Spooks in here. Yep. And I guess that was it. Yeah. But still, this one got 3.4 thousand views. I think this drove a lot of those wish lists. And again, if anyone wants to look at some of these videos, they're in the 2 newest ones are in the today command. Still good free playtesting with the video? Yeah. On the playtesting front, I think we've ironed out quite a lot of what I wanted to look through. So it is mostly exposure is what I'm looking for at this point, but eventually we might push new demo builds and then need some testing on those. But we're starting up some of the playtesting supported features, and we're starting with this whole set of cheats. We have to let people build their own city now. We have to fulfill all of the genre expectations that people have. All right, so now any instance of os.has feature, we now need to look through all of them and change them to feature flags. Wow, right off the bat, it's not auto-completing. The AI figured it out, but if it doesn't auto-complete, it's not going to import for me. I need to reload already. Come on, come on. Cool, yeah. Is demo. Okay, just got to do that everywhere. So this is feature flags dot is debug. Is debug or feature flags dot is playtest. Although that's gonna change a bit. These are all fine. Just delete them from the search results. We have 20 more of these to go through. Okay. Is debug. The reason I'm not just doing a find and replace on this is because we also need to import. So by typing out feature flags, it puts the import at the top of the file. Now I could have a solution for that too, but we only have 18 more of these, and I do want to take a look at some of these things. So feature flags is debug. All of these can be changed at once. Oh, nice. The AI actually knows. In fact, oh, come on, AI. There. Heading to bed. Long day tomorrow. All right, take care, Grim. Checking the YouTube videos now. First time seeing an intro. Pretty cute, actually. Yeah, I like it. It's actually been pretty well received. Misty Spook said like, "Oh, this is a great intro. It tells me what I need to know. It's not too long. Cutesy animations." So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. All right, 3 over here. Did it know how to import that? It apparently did. Nice. Should know what to do for this. Come on. You can change it. Fine, don't change it. Cool. Okay. Well, we only have so many more of these to do. Also, we're going to raid someone at the end of today that... Why do we make a variable for this? That they're going to stream Skeleseller for the first time. So that'll be fun. Okay, that looks good. Hey, Potman. Hope I didn't miss the whole stream. We're probably going to end in about 30 or 45 minutes. So there's still some. But yeah, not a lot. I just wanted to get done with this feature today. I'd be very happy to move on from this stuff pretty soon. We've just been working on release sorts of things here, which is important. I'm going to be very grateful that I did this later. But I want to have more confidence in the rest of the game. And yeah, there's a lot to do for that. All right, so it is on debug build or it is on export build. So this is feature flags dot debug. And this is feature flags dot is template. We should probably rename that to is on exported build. But actually, I think I'd rather have the comments for these be just like what we had here. Yeah, and then replace this. And then rename is template to is non-editor build. That's kind of weird. Yeah, that's kind of weird. It's considered an exported build, I guess. Is exported build. That might be slightly better. Almost midnight, almost bedtime. I see. Okay. Well, I think that's good. So the cheats menu, we could now make feature flags for any of these things if we want. I can put a cheats menu as either the debug or playtest is true. I don't really see a reason to do that, to be honest, but we could. Right now, the cheats menu just has it inherently written here. Make feature flags class. This is a way of centralizing os.has feature calls so that we can tweak which features are available without hunting them down in the code. It's pretty straightforward. So here's the part we need to do that's really important here. We need to make sure that everything on the left matches on the right. So demo, it matches is demo. Debug matches is debug, 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 yep. Or playtest, yep. That is translation enabled, good. Don't need to look at any of that. Oh, I gotta run, I gotta run a couple of things. Run UID tool, run .NET format. All right, debug, debug, looks good. Translation, debug, 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 cool. Yep, 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 yep. Yep, yep. Yeah, not too much to look through here. The reason I'm inspecting this is I don't fully trust that I typed it correctly, although I did. Is if we were ever wrong in one of those spots, we might have exposed something we didn't mean to, and it might be hard to figure some of that stuff out. So, like, let's say I accidentally exported a build with the debug menu on. In order to even see that it's enabled, you have to press Q or K. But, like, I'm probably not going to do that. And then maybe someone else does by accident, and then they cheat. I mean, I don't think it's a big problem, but it's not expected. It's a small problem. Okay, so now code the cheat menu for playtesters. So we have the cheats menu and we only want to add certain buttons to it. And I want these buttons to be as easy as possible so that this entire thing can be simplified too. What's the benefit of adding cheats for playtesters? Hey, Capillara. So we want for playtesters to be able to access different parts of the game. So imagine if every time you push a new build, they had to go to like new game and then play for like 2 hours and then finally get to like the new building that we added. That'd be really annoying. So instead, what we could do is we could be like, oh, grant all buildings and grant 10K gold and unlock all adventurers. And now they could just mess around with all of the different sort of options that the game has to offer. There are other ways we could accomplish this. We could share out save files where we gave you all of the adventurers or something. And yeah, that would work too. We could do something like that. I just thought it'd be easiest for cheats so that people could combine things in interesting ways. Like maybe they do want to start a new game, but they just want a lot of gold. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly, Pawan. So let's simplify this function on its own just to get to individual lines for all the cheats menus. And then we can just pick and choose buttons if we want to. So yeah, toggle invincibility. Let's move this to its own function. And right now this is in cheats menu.grant most things. So a private void toggle invincibility. We just put this here. This isn't needed. This is an underscore, and this isn't needed. So now this thing can be replaced with cheats menu dot toggle invincibility. Nice, single line. And now we just do that a million times. And then we're done. So what is this? This is either grant items, which this is only used in this one spot, right? So this is grant random items. We should call it that. Grant random items. Or we're going to make the other one just grant small blue potions. Grant forest items, something like that. Grant forest items. Grant forest items. There we go. And then let's put this beneath the other one because that's how they're arranged up above in code. Okay, that one's done too. Next up is add customer. So there's either create one customer or create many customers. Well, like I said, I want these down to one-liners. So we're gonna make functions that are create one customer and create many customers, which I know does not seem like the smartest thing to do, but that's what we're doing. I guess alternatively, the other thing we could do, I'm not using any of this anyway. The other thing we could do is say which buttons we want. I don't know. I'm going to just do what I said I was going to do. I don't mind having extra functions here. So private void add one customer and private void add many, or yeah, add 10. I'll just add many. There we go. All right, so that one's done. And now private void add one worker and private void add many workers. Cool. And this can be simplified down to this. And then we can put these things up here. So cheats menu, add one, add many. Cheats menu. Cool. Could also store those callbacks in variables. Yeah. Yeah, I think I just want to clean up what this function looks like, sort of like how we cleaned up the ready function in town, so that it's just fetching nodes. So what's this? We get this button. Oh, so that we can change the text on it. So this is add the timescale button, I guess. Then we have upgrade shops. I guess I'll copy all the upgrade shop stuff. Private void upgrade shops. Done. Put that here. Cool. So then there's just this cheats menu dot add game speed button. And that's where all this is going to go. Game speed button. Have I tried it? No, I haven't. I should make a command for that. Adam hasn't tried cursor, at least as of the date. He generally isn't too interested. He's already using Copilot for VS Code and doesn't necessarily want more AI just yet. Also, he's happy with the VS Code editing experience. Also, hello, how are you today? I'm doing well. Any reason why? I hope that sums it up for you. If not, I'm happy to go into more detail. But I don't know, like in my mind, Cursor is the AI editor. And it's got sort of AI baked into everything you do. But otherwise, it's pretty much just VS Code, right? So I'm not totally sure it would be drastically different. And the times I've tried AI for more agentic workflows or even just prompted workflows, I just don't feel like they're all that helpful for me. I haven't put a lot of time into it. But I also don't really feel like maybe I could be more productive. Maybe I should be looking into this more. Maybe I could be like 20% faster or something. Cursor tab works much better. Yeah, if it's like a small usability thing, it's almost certainly not worth switching. If it was like, oh, you're going to improve your speed by a factor of 3 or 4, I'd be like, okay, maybe I need to consider it. But I assume that speed increase would come from AI and not from cursor specifically. I can be 30% wrong. Doing constant AI code reviews, sorry. Yeah, and I like it even for something like you just saw me use it for this. I had the function typed out and then I just let AI complete what the name of it was. Like I know what it's like to type in a name. This is something that's pretty easy to review. But yeah, when you give it entire functions or files to make, I think that can be a little bit more intense. All right, so this is in the add cheats menu dot add draw button. And that's here, add game speed, private void, add draw button. And then get rid of that and change these to town. Cool. So this is exactly what we just had. I'm going to run this, but it should be the same set of debug functions that we had earlier. I'm then going to make playtest specific ones. So yeah, here's our whole menu. All of these things should still work. Unlock all adventures. Should have given us a bunch of adventures. Oh, well, I guess we already had them from the first click that I did. Add customer. I'm going to click once. Should make 1. Yep, I right click, it should make 10. So we can speed this up. Yep, there they are. Same thing with workers. Cool. Yeah. Pretty good. Pretty good. How do you have that layout to search for files? There are 2 things you might be talking about here. One is, how did I get this in the middle of the screen? And the answer to that is just drag it to where you want it. Wait, how do you drag this? There we go. Yeah, just drag it where you want it. I'm trying not to drag it too far, but that proves that you can do it. And then the second thing is, what is the keyboard shortcut for that? I mean, you can set it to whatever you want. I guess what's the command for that? It's called quick search. So just bind a hotkey for quick search, and that's how you can get that. Alternatively, just open up the command palette and just delete that and put a %, and now you can do a quick search for something. So I could search for grant most things. Train a custom model on our code base. Each developer did it. We then all asked exactly the same query. Each one gave a different answer. Non-deterministic nature of them is off-putting. Only a few answers had any real quality to them. Yeah, and there's like further sort of testing you can do or prompting you can do to try to get it to be more exact. And I don't feel like looking into that stuff for now. But I do think there's going to be a lot of value to this in the future, especially if AI gets a lot cheaper. Like imagine if you had 5 agents running on your code base at all times, just checking things they were 100% confident are wrong in your code base. And it cost you like $1 a day. That'd be incredible. Because right now that's kind of happening with linters. It's like if I put a bunch of spaces here, it immediately knows, hey, you shouldn't do that. Okay, cool. That's very mechanical. That's easy. But now imagine if it was like, hey, you are calling this method like 10 times, add button. Maybe this is a better way of structuring your code. And it just provides you this. And it's like, I'm 99.9% sure you're going to like this code. That would be really powerful. Because it'd basically be coding when you're not coding, and just come back the next day and be like, hey, I made a PR for you based on some quality of life thing I've seen you struggling with. That's one of the ways I think AI is going to like drastically improve quality of life as a developer. Even just not having to type out boilerplate, it's already been amazing for that. It's like when you write a function that says something like private void toggle visibility of, I don't know, menu. It's like it wrote out a method. That's it. It saved me, what was that, 19 characters. That on its own is already pretty nice. I definitely like that. And it's like IntelliSense, except for that it's making new lines for you. Cursor with Slack connection do that? Yeah, probably at a higher cost and probably not as maybe like, what's the word, high quality as I'm thinking about. Well, I had to burn 50 trees for that. Imagine if there was like, you have a prompt. You say something like, come up with a PR for something. And then there's a button that says go. And then as soon as you click it, it shows a drone photo of a forest and it just torches the whole thing. And then it gives you a result. And you're like, well, I got my PR because I don't care. Really rub your nose in the consequences of your actions. All right, so the whole reason we did this is because the debug menu is going to have one thing, and then the playtester menu is going to have another thing. So we could get rid of all of these for the sake of playtesting. Do we want any of them? Increase game speed, I think we want. So how about this? If feature flags.playtest, then we only want to add certain buttons. These are going to get added no matter what. So the speed button's definitely... Oh, wait. The order is going to matter, though. Oh, drat. I've gotten so used to this order that if I change it... Okay, fine. Then let's just do an else here, and let's just add all these. Yeah. All right, so we'll have the speed button. What else did I say I wanted? So that's done. Build everything. Toggle invincibility. Yeah, let's get toggle invincibility there. Unlock all adventures. Let's put that there. So build everything. I think show all signs is a good shortcut for that for right now. Let's try that out. If I make a new game, oh, they're showing by default. Oh wait, no, but if I save and load, they don't. Okay, so now none of the signs are showing. So I can't build the farm. I can't do whatever else. The only things I could build would be the town hall and the item displays. But if I click show all signs, now everything is there. I think let's just do that. It's definitely easy. And then what was the last one? Give you money and increase the maximum. Okay, that shouldn't be too bad. Tell you to not use null coalescing on some objects. Who's going to spend the time doing that? I'm not being clear. I guess what I'm picturing is, imagine you coded something poorly. Like imagine you had, I don't know, function foo, and you said something like into x equals 4 and y equals 5 and z equals 6, and I don't know, you just made a whole bunch of those, and then the AI told you like, hey, did you just want a list with this stuff? like why not put incrementing numbers into a list, or like here's a formula that would do this for you, or something like that. Where it's like an analyzer is going to tell you here's how you could restructure your code necessarily. Some of them could, but they're mostly in like mechanically identical ways. Okay, so we need a grant money. Should this be 10,000 gold? I think it should probably just be like basically infinite, right? Give you 1,000,000 gold. Because I don't think you should have to click this many times unless, what if you're trying something out with what if you can afford something or not? Should we have a set to 1,000,000 gold and then set to like 100? Let's just start with 1,000,000 gold. Yeah, let's just start with 1,000,000. Grant money. Cheats menu dot grant money. Okay, so grant most things grants money. Reload VS Code reloads VS Code. Hey, Paduty. Private void grant money. Okay, so set the max money to infinite and give yourself, how much is this? 100,000? Excuse me, I want 1,000,000. Oh, actually 100,000 is effectively identical. Also, what's the last money limit? It's not even 1,000,000. You can't even get 100,000 gold. You can only get 99,999. I guess they're pretty much identical then. And in fact, here we can say grant money and then not do this stuff. Okay, now check this out. Here's where we can use our feature flags to turn off debug and turn on playtest. Yeah. So now it's going to be like we exported a playtest build. So we go to the title screen first. It says placeholder version. And then, oh, I want to skip that. And then we access the cheats menu and we only have these 5 now. So if I sped this up, oh, you should be able to right click this too. Yeah. Should probably write that down somewhere, huh? And maybe we should make that screen a little bit more usable. Oh, that was in the wrong order. What caused that? That was strange. Adam learns. Hate that. Hate that video. Video should never show up next to mine. I'm an actual adult trying to learn. There's some little toddler in a car. All right, so click this video. Speed up the YouTube video. Yeep. Okay, so that right there. Why did that happen? Very first battle is broken. The tip shows beneath the battle window. That video isn't me. Looks just like me. Couldn't tell there was a difference. So let's turn this off and see if... No, wait, we can't do that. I wonder if I broke skip tutorial. We're not even skipping the tutorial, though, anymore. Eeps. Eeps. Huh. I'm just broken on main. All right, let's just turn both of these things off. So I'll do this. Set this to false. Set this to false. And then run. Okay, so this will take a little bit longer because now we can't speed this up. We can skip the intro, but we can't speed up anything else. And we don't have a cheats menu. So I got to do this a slow way. It's going to be another like 8 seconds, and then we'll see the thing pop up. So all we're looking for is, does that thing pop up above this or below this? Did I break this or did I not break this? I broke this. How did I break it? How's it even possible? All right, let's do this. Get stash. Let's go back in time to this. Get checkout. Oh, wait, how about this? Before I mess something up, let's sync the changes. There, now we can't possibly mess up. All right, so get checkout that version. Now we go and try to play this. That won't work, will it? No, it won't. I need to not skip the tutorial. If it's being done via flags, if you detect it's in debug mode, could you pop up a dialog asking if you want to debug or want debug playtest release feature flags? So you can stay in debug for dev, but quickly check other build modes. Yeah, so I'd like to do that, but part of the problem is the only time I've wanted to do that really is so that I can get into the tutorial, but the tutorial relies on other state being set. So we need to like trick our way into making a new game and setting some flags, and it just wasn't worth it at the time. But yeah, that sort of idea, if these differ from each other enough, then it could be worth doing that. Oh, it's broken even on main. How did that happen? What? What commit did I go to? This one? That's this commit, right? FF40. Yeah, it's this one. I added the release tool. I didn't change any code here, so it was broken even before this. I guess we could get bisect and try to figure it out now. That would tell us where this is wrong. Well, it's tedious to do. All right, let's just look through the history really fast so I don't hopefully have to spend a lot of time on this. Maybe it's this one. Did this change the Z index? 9 files changed. No Z index. Oh, the order of nodes might have changed. Okay, how about this? Let's just inspect it through the code then. So what is that called? It says something about running automatically. Yeah, this one. Auto fight notification. Auto fight notification. Where do we add this? Add child at top of scene tree in the UI. At top of scene tree? That doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right at all. Instances manager is there. Yeah, it's, oh God, that's why. Okay, so we needed to be below the instances manager. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, well, the easiest way is just add a new node here and then just always add it to that thing. Alternatively, another thing we could do is add it to contextual tips. It is a contextual tip. It should be there. Yeah. Contextual tips node. Where do we add to? Add contextual tip. Oh, but it only, oh, it takes in a control. Well. We have bested this thing. Okay, so before I mess this up, let's go back to our old code. So git checkout, add whatever I called this. What I call this? Playtester cheats? Yeah. And then git stash pop. And then we can go back to playtest being true. And then we need to call this on the auto fight notification. So where's auto fight? Here it is. UI.add to top. Not anymore. Ah, that should fix it. Let's try it. Now this is a little bit of an exploitation of the add contextual tip naming. But still, let's see if it fixed it. Because it should have. So now I can speed this up. So I can go through all of this pretty quickly. And then start a battle and then slow it down. And is it fixed? It's not because... Wait, what what happened? What did happen? Was that code even called? Maybe has one first battle was true. Did I mess something else up? Is debug is false. Is playtest is true. Is playtest should only be used in what, one spot? Create cheats menu. Yeah, what happened? We didn't see anything. It didn't even show up behind. This frees itself, right? Yeah, it does. Okay, I don't know what caused that to be a problem. Maybe, oh, I think I know. Maybe it's in the wrong spot. No, it's in the right spot. Although its size is not very large for that. And I guess adding it to UI is going to make it look a little bit different. We could just test it, can't I? Why am I not doing this? Just add auto fight notification. Where does that show up? It shows up there. Yeah, that's our problem, I think. We would normally add it here. Yeah. That is our problem. Ah, the joys of coding. So it's showing up, but it's showing up above the top of the screen. So what we could do is put this inside of another control, I guess. What is this? It's a panel container. We could make it a control that'll then reset to the middle of the screen. Is that even correct? Sometimes I don't want to think. I don't want to use my brain. And this is one of those times where I have to use my brain. All right, well, what would it mean to put it under here? We add a control. We put this over here. That allows this to work. And that's probably what we're doing. But we are still abusing contextual tips here. The other way we could do this is just add this thing right after the instances manager. It just has to show up on top of the battle. I think I'm going to do that. Hey, Remy. All right, so instead of add contextual tips, we say public void add child after instances manager. This is so specific. So we add it to this thing, add child tip, and then move child tip. This This has to work, right? Get index of child. Get index. Let's get index too. What even is this? Returns this node's order among its siblings. Oh. So we could do it that way. Is the +1 needed? 0 makes it show before the 0th one. So the +1 will make it show after. Yeah. All right. Now we gotta write a comment for this. Let's try that out. And then go delete any of the changes I made over here. Yeah, stop that. All right. Why is Project Echo modified? That looks scary. What happened here? It removed my placeholder version. Did I click something when I opened that? Maybe I clicked something. Reload from disk. Yeah, there we go. Cheats, you know it. We're adding this for playtesters. So there are going to be 5 cheats. I got to make it clear how they use these, what they do, etc. But I can show you in just a sec. Okay, I got to do this for the millionth time. All right, we're going to see it. We're going to take a picture. There it is. It's beautiful. Your adventurers do what? They fight automatically. That's wonderful. Okay, so we write a comment here saying there's in the tutorial, there's a particular notification that we want to show on top of battle windows. So we have to add it after the instances manager node. All right, now we go check in that stuff. So this and this. Fix bug with order of tutorial tip. Ever since, it's whatever changed the UI, which was this. So ever since this commit, this has been broken, I think. I think this was broken in this when we moved the instances manager to the UI. Okay, but that wasn't what we were trying to do. Here's the cheats menu, Remy. So I'm in playtest mode right now. So this is what playtesters will get, and there are 5 cheats. The cheats are grant money, which gives you maximum money, show all signs, which will show all the signs in the game so that you could build whatever you want, toggle invincibility, pretty obvious what that does, unlock all adventurers, which just immediately gives you all of them, and then increase game speed, which will let you test things faster if you want to. So yeah, it's all working. It's all there. Oh, we probably want to skip tutorial thing, don't we? Because I still can't even open the adventurers tab until the potion goes there. Yeah. Yeah. How long did it take to get through the tutorial? Like a minute or 2? I guess you could always save a game. But yeah, skip tutorial button would probably be nice. I don't want to do this right now. Yeah, I don't want to do this right now. So this is done. So remaining things to think about. We probably want to allow players to skip the tutorial. Well, not players, playtesters. And we probably need to explain how to lower the speed by right-clicking. Maybe a tooltip would be fine. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, we pretty much completed what I wanted to complete. So I think that's going to be it for now, because Syndra should be streaming Skeleseller, and I wanted to raid them. No, they're not online yet. Okay, well, we'll wait for them. In the meantime, let's chat. I think it was a pretty productive day. I want to get back to marketing stuff. Just made a PDF doc of the cheats and the testers used. Oh, they used that, so we didn't make anything in game for it. Yeah, I was just worried that people wouldn't read the document because we have a document, and yeah, I wrote how to cheat, instructions coming soon. So yeah, we could put this here and we could talk about increasing game speed and stuff. Yeah. Should probably put Syndra's stream on my other monitor to see when they're online. Oh, they're live now. Okay. I think they just went online. Indie game day, checking out multiple games. And they started with Skeleseller. Yeah. Yeah. So I think I'm going to rate them now. It's kind of on them if they didn't read it, though. They can just ask in Discord and one of us can answer if they have a specific question. That's true. I think a tooltip is pretty low effort. So if it was just that, like, hey, right click to lower the game speed, I think it'd be okay. But yeah, if it was like, I got to change the UI, I'm going to write that down because I think your suggestion is good. If it's just a tooltip, then I think this is fine. If it's anything more than that, then we may want to hold off and do more important things. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so as mentioned, the other day I raided, I think their name was Flamin' Scott, and in their chat was this person we're about to raid, who goes by Syndra, I believe. And they are going to play Skeleseller for the first time. So let's go watch them. I have not checked out their stream before. Raid. And I'll be back tomorrow for a bit, but I'll probably be starting a little bit late. And I'm not sure what we're going to do. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thanks for being here. I hope to see you tomorrow. And let's go check out this person's stream. I'll probably watch for a bit and see him play the game. See ya.